So what if the specs of Samsung's next foldables are a mix of good and things we know? As yes, the full list of all the internals of the Z Flip 5 and Z Fold 5 have emerged. Now, Oppo's plan for the Find N3 Flip seemed to solve the main thing we've wanted from flip phones for years, and it's not a bigger outer display. And what if that OnePlus Foldable is actually better than most of the rumors? I'm Jaime Rivera, and I know a lot of foldable content today. It's clear where the market's going. This is Pocketnow Daily. Now, what is up lately with no official news? It's just a thing. But anyways, let's start the video talking about Samsung since we have the first renders showcasing the Galaxy S23 FE. Yes, it seems like the FE is finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. According to a new report, the Galaxy S23 FE is rumored to launch in certain markets in Q3 2023, with the unveiling expected to happen before the official introduction of the Z Flip and Z Fold 5 next month. I know, completely out of schedule. The new budget-friendly device looks similar to the Galaxy A54 and has almost the same dimensions. It's built around a centered punch hole display and sports triple cameras on the rear. It features the volume rocker and power button on its right side frame, with the USB-C port at the bottom flanked by the microphone and speakers. Now, this fan edition could pack a 6.4-inch display, and this could be an AMOLED panel with a fingerprint scanner underneath, since it's not on the phone's power button. The report also mentions that we have a 4,500 milliamp hour battery, 25-watt charging, and finally, other rumored specifications for this device include the Exynos 2200 SoC in all regions, which is already making it a hard sell. 50 megapixel primary cameras, and then 6/128 or 8/256 gigs of storage. Does that sound like a fan edition to you? Because I don't know. Now let's get to Oppo, because we have the first renders of the Find N3 Flip, and let's just say this might be the first flip phone that truly acts like a flagship. As you can see, sure, the outer screen looks pretty much identical to the Find N2 Flips, meaning Oppo doesn't want to risk that, but there's a major reason why. Notice that this might be the first flip phone with 3 primary cameras and not just 2. The report claims that the Find N3 Flip will share all of its cameras with the recently launched Oppo Reno 10 Pro, meaning that it will have a 50 megapixel main sensor with OIS using Sony's IMX890 sensor, which is proven, an 8 megapixel ultra wide, and a 32 megapixel 2x optical zoom telephoto. The rest of the specs are already going to be almost the same as its predecessor. However, we would recommend taking this information with a grain of salt, since we're most likely many months away from the official launch. A lot of things could change from here to there. Now, moving on, let's talk about the other Oppo company, OnePlus, because we have a new listing that reveals all the specs of the company's first foldable. Earlier today, OnLeaks shared most of what we need to know about the OnePlus Fold. The new device will have a 7.8-inch AMOLED panel, the cover display will measure 6.3 inches, and both will have 120 Hz refresh rate. It will be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 with 16 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage, similar to the top configuration of the OnePlus 11. It will also get a 4,800 milliamp hour battery with 67-watt charging support. The OnePlus Fold will have a triple camera at the back, which includes a 48 megapixel main sensor, a 48 megapixel ultra wide, and then a 64 megapixel telephoto camera. And there will also be 2 selfie cameras, one of 32 megapixels on the outer display and then 20 megapixels inside. OnePlus hasn't set a date officially for the device, but rumors have it launching in August in New York City, and you bet we are excited for what's coming. And finally, for the hottest news today, let's talk about Samsung, since we have the full specs of the Galaxy Z Flip 5 and Z Fold 5 thanks to a new report coming from Snoopy Tech. So let's start with the smaller sibling. The Z Flip 5 will have a 3.4-inch outer display that will adopt the folder design, sort of. It's just pretty large. Now, on the inside, there will be a 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED 2x panel capable of hitting 120 Hz refresh rate. Internally, the Flip 5 will be powered powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 with 8 gigs of RAM paired with up to half a terabyte of storage. It will also have a 3700 mAh battery and a dual camera setup of a 12 megapixel primary and 12 megapixel ultra wide on that external display. I know, nothing to really go crazy about. But on the other side, the Z Fold 5 has a 6.2-inch outer display screen at 2176 by 1812, while the internal screen comes in at 7.6 inches. Both are capable of 120 Hz refresh rate by a dynamic AMOLED 2X panel. The Z Fold 5 houses 12 gigs of RAM, either 256 or 512 gigs of storage, and yes, the beast of that Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. It comes with a 4400 mAh battery, which is the same as last year, and then for the camera, we get a 50 megapixel main sensor, 12 megapixel ultra wide, 12 megapixel telephoto, and based on the dimensions mentioned on the listing, we know that it will be thinner and 10 grams lighter than its predecessor. What's also interesting is that there's no sign of an IPX8 certification, which was expected for both phones, but let's be real, it's probably going to be on the listing. In today's question, let us know, what would you wish for Samsung's new foldables this year? Because honestly, since we're not seeing much of a change, how about at least an $100 price drop? Seriously, that would be amazing, but that's just me. Leave us a comment down below, we'd love to know your opinion. Friends, again, if you want to get the news earlier, follow us on Pocketnow.com and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. You can also follow us on social media, so our extended coverage happens on Instagram, and follow me on my personal handles to state the obvious. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I'm Jaime Rivera, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.